Here we are. All right, Ashley. So, Ashley, I came across your story. You are a painter,
Yes.
and you have had great success using Instagram to market and sell your work. And so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about. Before we dive into that, can you just give me like for those who don't know you, just a little bit of background on where you came from and how you arrived to where you are today?
Again, my name is Ashley Longshore, Instagram handle Ashley Longshore Art. I have been a professional artist for 23 years. I'm a self-taught artist, and my whole career and my marketing for as long as I can remember has revolved around using technology and using methods of getting my name out there that aren't costing me money. I feel like the world has changed so much in the art world, and we don't have to depend on, number one, galleries and giving up 50%, but number two, running full page ads in magazines to get our names out there. Now there's a much bigger, larger audience, and we've got so many tools to do that free. So that's been a big part of my career, and I'm trying to teach other artists, it only takes a few minutes a day to put yourself out there. You just have to be brave enough to make that step and allow the world to embrace you.
Great.
So that's part of how I built my own career, and ended up doing huge collaborations with companies like Anthropologie, the fashion house Chloe. I've got a huge global collaboration I'm working on right now with a Japanese cosmetics company that I'm very excited about, and actually got another big collaboration this morning. So a lot of these things are happening just from putting myself out there and just being brave and just seeing what the world thinks of me. And it's working.
Okay, so we're going to go into a little bit of those specific mechanics of how you would suggest artists go about putting themselves out there. And I would just want to affirm what you're saying. So, a lot of what happened, I used to work in the music industry, and MP3s came along and disrupted the entire music industry.
Right.
And actually, and some musicians really got taken out, and some started to thrive. And then it happened with publishing. And then some authors who were really locked into the publishing houses, they had a hard time and they struggled quite a bit. And then other authors did what you did, started to build their own platform, and really had some great success. And now it's time for a visual artist to catch up. So you're a great shining example of, keeping up with the technology. And I want to say one thing about it. It's not every freaking channel and every piece of technology that you have to master.
No, not at all. And it's amazing now how you can link up. Like now when I post something on Instagram, I'll just link it in with my Facebook. I'll link it in with my Twitter sometimes. I'm not a big fan of Twitter. I've just never really gotten into it. But yes, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be on everything, and you don't have to spend hours a day doing this. One thing that's important to me is that people will say, "Oh, Ashley, did you see this online? Did you see that online?" And I'm like, no, because a lot of times I'm posting what I'm doing, and then I'm back on my easel. I'm back meeting with clients.
Right.
So the idea isn't that you're on social media all day long. Make your post, go home, get in bed, have a glass of wine, and then scroll through and look at what everybody else is doing. But during the workday, you need to be working.
Right. So let's take this. So what are three things? Let's just say you're talking to an artist. And let's just say he or she is going to use Instagram as their primary channel. And like you said, you can also link with your content to other channels.
Right.
Let's just say we're going to start with Instagram. And let's just say this is intimidating to them, or they're not, or maybe they've done it, they're not quite sure what to do. What are three things that they should know about this whole thing called social media, online marketing? What three things they should know? And then what we're going to do, we'll move into three things they should actually do. But what are three things they should know?
Well, I think what they should know is that their channel is their channel. So your Instagram or your Facebook is this is your life. This is not the 6 o'clock news. This is not CNN. You can say and do whatever you want. This is a platform for you to show what inspires you, for you to show your process, for you to put things on there that make you laugh. And that's really how I use my Instagram, is that I really try to capture my personality on there and things that I'm interested in and thoughts that I'm having, and then I tie that in with my artwork so they all are sort of cohesive. So I think, you know, what you need to know is there are really no rules here, and you can be as creative with your feed as you are with your artwork.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, it's another mode of expression, right? It's just that simple.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Don't be too, you know, you don't have to take this thing too seriously. The thing of it is, if you put yourself out there and somebody doesn't like you, all they have to do is unfollow you. Okay. Or you know, I mean, I'm speaking in terms of Instagram because I think it's so easy. They just unfollow you. Like if you've got somebody on your feed, they're boring you to tears. They're posting pictures of babies and food. You're over it. You unfollow them. It's very easy. If somebody says something nasty on your feed, you may be worried about that. You just block them, you know? I mean, it's really, it's simple. It's harmless. And the bottom line is there's no harm that can come of it. Putting yourself out there in this way, this is a platform for images. So if you are,
no one's gonna die.
What's that?
No one's gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and just let me say this: if you are a struggling artist and you're trying to pay your rent, this is free. So there's nothing that can come out of this that is gonna do not gonna do anything but get your name out there more. You know,
right, so
I think too, a lot of people don't understand hashtags. So when you're starting out with Instagram, you know, you don't go crazy with hashtags. I usually don't do more than 3 or 4. Also, if there's somebody that you really love and you start putting at this and at that, that can get, you know, that can get a little aggravating. So, you know, don't worry about hashtags in the beginning. Maybe always hashtag your name with what you're posting. That way, when someone is looking you up or trying to find you, they can find your hashtags and then go directly to you. That's something that I do. But don't be intimidated. That's the main thing. Don't be intimidated by social media. Okay.
So one of the things, so we talked about the 3 things that people should know is that, first of all, no harm's going to come. No planes are going to crash. No people are going to die. You can unfollow. You can block people. You're allowed to do that because it belongs to you. I think the other thing I heard you say about what they should know is just have fun and use it as a vehicle of expression, just like you do any other form of art, right?
Right.
And then the other thing that you suggest that people should know is don't go crazy with hashtags. Keep it to 3 or 4 and always include your name.
Don't be intimidated by hashtags. If you're just getting started, don't worry about all that. You'll catch on to all that.
Okay. So just put your toe in the water is what I'm hearing you say. Just
you know, like a lot of times I'll post something and I'll say on the easel or in the sketchbook. You know, people that are not artists are fascinated by that whole process. So you could post an image of yourself drawing or erasing something. I mean, now with technology, you can do a little video. You can do something in slow motion. It's so easy and it's so creative and it's such a wonderful marketing tool.
So the other thing you should know is it's easy and it's free and it works.
That's right. You'd be a fool not to utilize this social media.
Okay. All right. So let's pretend we're talking to someone who hasn't done this yet. All right. Maybe they tiptoed or maybe they haven't even started. What are 3 things they should do either before they do it or as they're doing it? What should they actually do? You know,
3 things that they should do to get started with their Instagram.
Yeah. We started with, and we're going to focus on Instagram because that's what we're talking about here, but yeah, just pretend they don't know. You're talking to your grandma, you're talking to someone just has never used this.
Post things that you love. That's the answer. If you're trying to get people to follow you and for people to understand you, post images that you love. If it's a New York City skyline, you post that. If it's San Francisco, the bridge that's all lit up with the LED lights, you shoot a little video. You say, God, look at this bridge. It's so beautiful. You know, if it's a picture of something another artist has done that inspires you, post that. Maybe start off that way so it's not so intimidating and then work up into putting your own artwork on there.
So I like that. I mean, this speaks a lot to just being you. Like that's how you're going to be successful is just be yourself. You can't be anybody else. Just like what you are uniquely drawn to is a place to start. Okay.
You know, listen, if purple is your favorite color, post something that's the color purple and say, isn't this just divine? I don't know why, but I'm fascinated by this color. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. It could be a picture of Mick Jagger. It could be anything in the world. The world is your oyster here.
So when we look at the basic mechanics, I'm assuming no one knows they've done this before. Sometimes they're left with the impression, you addressed this a bit earlier, they got to be doing this all day long. So let's talk, when we talk about the 3 things they should do, how often should they do this?
I mean, I think you could, I mean, when I have feeds that I really love, I get aggravated if they're not posting a lot, because I you know, I'm into it. I'm inspired by it. I love it. It makes me laugh, or they're funny. I think that could be a personal thing. You may want to make 1 good post a day in the beginning, and then you may want to work up where you have more followers and you're getting more reaction on there. And then maybe once you're having that, you want to post more than once a day, or maybe you're like super inspired and you have a bunch of images in your phone and you can't wait to post them. Maybe wait a few hours in between posts. You know, but the people that are responding to you, number 1, most of my collectors are on social media now. You know, they're going to want to follow you out of the get-go because they love you as an artist. 2, your friends and family are on there. They're going to be a fan of what you're doing and hopefully supportive of your art career. They're going to give you some love on there. And you just really find that whole exchange it's awesome. It's fun. And it's
yeah, so it sounds like what you're saying is find your own pace, but just keep a pace.
Right.
Okay. Is there anything else they should do or not do?
I mean, if we're just talking about using social media to further your art career, you want to put yourself out there as an artist, and that's what this is all about. Using social media eliminates the gallery, and at the end of the day, what I hope for all artists is that they stop giving up 50% to gallery.
Amen.
Yeah, 100%, and that's been the crux of my career. If I keep 100% of my profit margins, I can have my own team. I can hire my own publicist. I have a lot more capital to go out into the world and be creative and be inspired. So when we're talking about using social media, this is about, at the end of the day, you having a broader reach and the world being very small. I mean, for me, when I make certain posts on Instagram that relate directly back to my website, I pull up my Google Analytics and I watch what page they're on. I watch where they are in the world. I watch they're in Japan, they're in China, they're all over Europe. London's firing up, Canada's firing. I mean, it's amazing when you really look at the science of what we're doing here as far as marketing, which is free, how small the world is and how great your reach is. Right. And that is the thing about artists. We just want to be loved, accepted, and understood. And what that translates into is dollar bills, Benjamin Franklin's. So by putting yourself out there, you have nothing to lose. Just go for it. Don't overthink it. Like, you're wanting me to give these specific steps. I don't think that there are any. You get the account, start putting pictures, look at how other people are doing their feeds.
Well, no, I think that's a valid way to talk about this, because everyone, it's like paint, right? Like, how you use paint is way the hell different than the way I use paint.
Right.
Both use paint.
Yeah. So like, you go in and you search, let's say you want to search, let's just say Karl Lagerfeld or somebody, and you go in and you look at, you know, the users for Karl Lagerfeld, and you go, God, I really love that feed. I love how there's pictures of flowers. I love how there's pictures of Paris. I love how they're showing shoes. I love how the accessories. I love these other painters on there. Maybe you say, God, I love the way that feed looks. I kind of want my feed to look that way. I mean, I find myself looking at my images and going, ooh, there's too much black and white. I want a pop of color. Right. So, I mean, you can really be as creative with this as you. It's a sales tool.
You can treat it as so you can treat it as a catalog or as a canvas itself, like that, a whole montage of images, and you get really creative and inspired by it. So I think what, the big takeaway here is that this is really built for creative visual artists.
Yes. It's really, and there are no rules. There are no steps really, other than to just do it. When, as artists, when we wake up and we are doing our craft, we don't go, okay, here's this step and that step. We just do it. You follow your heart and you do it. And using social media is the exact same way. Just don't be intimidated.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I think that's great advice. And the mechanics are not that complicated, and there's plenty of instructions if you're hung up on that, but I think your advice is spot on. So if you could give other visual artists one piece of parting advice, like if you look back on your life, right? Let's just pretend you're looking back on your life. You've lived this fabulous life, been a successful and impactful artist, and someone brand new comes in and says, give me your wisdom. What would you say to that person? What's one piece of parting advice?
My wisdom for that would be that, although it may seem as though I'm a successful artist now, and I do have success, but I have a lot of goals that I've yet to reach. What every artist out there needs to know is, is that there was a decade of my career when it was just struggling. It was struggling, and it was working and understanding this business, understanding who my collector is, you know, maybe not being able to pay my rent, and realizing, okay, somebody wants to see my artwork. I'm going to take every painting I've got. I mean, there were times when somebody would want to see a painting and I would take 50 over there because I would knew if I take 50, I could probably sell something. So, you know, so much of my success that I'm having right now is based around the fact that, number one, so many galleries told me that I was not marketable, which is hilarious now that I was named one of the leading female entrepreneurs of the South by Forbes magazine.
Love it.
Vogue magazine. You know, I get the last laugh. These are all people that not only would have taken 50% from me, but looked right at me in the eyes and told me I wasn't marketable. So I've got the last laugh of them now. But my greatest advice is that this entire career I can compare to planting a garden. When you are first starting, if you're first starting with Instagram, when you plant seeds in your garden, you're not going to get fruit the next day. We have to tend the soil. We have to keep the rabbits out of there. We have to make sure that we're not distracted. We have to make sure the water is right, the sun is right, the environment is right. We have to tend our garden so that eventually we do have the fruits of our labors. Then I can tell you this from where I am right now. Once you have the fruit, you've got monkeys and all kinds of things trying to get the fruit. It's full circle. The goals that you set for yourself as an artist out there, you will go through this circle of achieving that goal, and then you will make another goal, and this circle will never stop.
That's right.
I want all of these artists to look at their career as a garden, or like fishing. How many lines do you have in the water? You know, the basis of being an artist is not different than being an entrepreneur at all. Entrepreneurs fail as much as they succeed.
Well, actually, I insist that artists don't, to this point, I insist that artists don't refer to themselves as having a career, because they don't have a W-2, they don't have a career, they have a business. And you are very much an entrepreneur. Forbes doesn't highlight you because you got a career. They highlight you because you have a damn business and it's profitable.
That's right. That's right.
Right? This is so, so true. And I love the fact that you're talking about, you got to do this, and it's an iterative process, right? You start with that goal, you go around, and then you meet the goal, and guess what? You got to do it all over again with a whole new set of obstacles and a whole new set of criteria.
That's right. And the cool thing about social media is that once you start to collect some great collectors and you make sure and let them know that you're on social media, then they will tag their friends and they'll go, oh my God, have you followed this artist? This artist is really cool, you know, and then next thing you know, you don't know who's looking at your feed. And then, you know, like for me, I get emails all the time from people and I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea that person was even following me. And then these massive opportunities are happening. And it strictly is from putting myself out there.
Right.
You take the step. You have nothing to lose. The social media, it's the greatest tool. I preach. This is the time of the artist. This is the time to maintain control of your career and 100% of your profit margins. Screw the gallery. You do not need them anymore. And I will tell you this: if you do use a gallery, you make sure if they are taking 50% from you that you position yourself as a business person. You say, okay, well, if you're taking 50% from me, what full page ads are you running for me? Where are you going to be promoting me? What work are you doing? What collectors, what VIP appointments are you bringing me to? Are you going to let me know who my collectors are? Right. You have the leverage to negotiate if someone sees you as being marketable out there.
Right.
And if they don't, then you go do it yourself.
You know, in a way, Ashley, it seems like the biggest favor those galleries did for you was tell you no.
Well, I've got galleries all over me right now.
No, I mean, like initially when you started, when you were talking about your story, when you just first started, you got no. I mean, in a way, that looks like that was a big fat favor because. Hey,
I love proving somebody wrong. I love it, and I don't want to call it revenge, but living well is the best revenge, and. You know, being written up in, you know, huge magazines and being recognized by Forbes. I just was put in my alumni hall of fame for my boarding school. I mean, it's insane. I'm not even 40 yet. And it's all just from putting myself out there and proving people wrong 100%.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. I want to thank you very much for your time. We're going to put this. We're going to put this out into the blog. I'm going to actually share this with you, see the recording, and we're going to put this out on Artists Who Thrive.
Great.
and on the Facebook channel, so people are Facebook page, so everybody can see it.
Great.
And, I congratulate you for your success, and I'm not surprised based on the things that you talked about and how you talked about it. I'm not surprised at all.
Thank you so much.
And I would lay money down. There's gonna be a lot more success to come in your direction.
Well, you know what? It's all about hard work. I'm up at 6 a.m. and I work till about 9 o'clock every night. And so that when you're American or not, if you're a successful artist, if you're successful at anything that you do, you work.
That's right. There's no way around it. And you got to remain relentless.
That's right.
On that note, thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.